What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back into another video. In today's video, we're going to be discussing my update of 6 months of ownership with a BMW M340i. And the BMW is a 2023 for reference, and it's a xDrive. The color on the outside is a Brooklyn gray, and is one of my favorite colors. And I'm not saying that's based off bias. It's actually, even before I bought the car, I think the car looks, amazing with this color. A couple things that I'm going to touch in this video. I might give you different POVs with inside the car, which I'm planning on doing. So maybe the passenger side, maybe the back side, and give you kind of a run around of my car, just like I usually do. But I also want to touch on some YouTube comments that you guys have mentioned in my prior video, my 3-month update. I want to just answer some of those, or maybe even touch on some of the comments that you guys actually had for my car and my, I guess, the way I do things, which is pretty interesting. But we'll touch that. And then obviously, if you have any questions, make sure you leave the comment on the comment section, whatever. Either as a question, any concerns, anything you'd like to know about the car itself. But I do have a couple updates for you guys with the car. Also, I'm planning on showing you, as usual, the POV, right? So you guys can see how it is to drive within the cockpit of an M340i if you don't have one yet. But I'm glad a lot of feedback that I've been getting on the car has been very positive as to like people's experience with the car, the B58 engine. There's other things like, man, this is my dream car. Like, congratulations, things of that nature. There's a lot of positive vibes that have been going around my channel, and people just enjoy watching car videos, which, I've told my channel before that I'm not a car guy, but somebody told me that if you appreciate cars and you like them enough, you're a car guy. So now I'm a car guy, and now I make YouTube videos, and hopefully I do it all to inspire you guys. Obviously, materialistic things are not the end-all be-all of life, but if things inspire you in life to do better, then go for it, and give God your plans, and He'll take care of the rest. You know what I mean? His will be done. So without further ado, let's get right into the video, ladies and gentlemen. So 6 months over the winter break. So now we're in January. Over the winter break, I had a tire that was deflating. I think it was the left side. So it was the driver's side, I should say. Driver's side, left back tire was deflating, right? So I noticed it one time. I put some air on it during the day, and then overnight, the next day, it was deflated again. And I was like, I wonder if it's a temperature change, right? Because it happens, right? When temperature changes, tire pressure changes. If you guys didn't know, now you know. So when that happened, I was like, okay, let's see what happens the following day. Following day, did the same thing. Same thing happened, deflation. So I was like, man, Tom Brady back in 2014, 15 with the deflate gate, there's a lot of deflation going on with my car. And I was like, dang, I need to take this to the shop. So I brought it to the shop. My hopes was for whatever was causing the deflation in my car, that they were going to be able to fix that. But little did I know, because again, I am not the most well-versed in my car, I will admit. I have run flat tires. So when I took it to their shop, they said if they found something small, they could fix it. But they didn't know either that it was run flat. So when they called me back, they were like, hey, we don't fix run flats in this shop. So then I thought, do I want to take this to another shop that does, and do the research to see where, to take it? Do I take it to the BMW shop? And I'm like, man, do I want to go through all that trouble and waste all that time? Or the other option was just get a new tire. And this was not the best financial decision, but I went with a new tire. I went with a new tire. They took care of it. The next day I had it ready to go. And everything has been working since then. So, again, oh, by the way, for full transparency, the tire cost around $400. So now I kind of have an idea on what full 4 set of tires could possibly look like in the future if I need to change all 4 of them at one point, right? Luckily for my last BMW, you know what's crazy? I got my car in 2022, summer 22, the BMW 330i. And I didn't change the tires for 3 years. And I traded it in without my tires being changed. Although by the time I went to the shop and I traded up to the BMW dealership, it was time to trade in the car. 100%. It was, I mean, not to trade in the car, to change the tires of the car. It was time for sure, right? But the reason I was holding out was because I didn't know if I was gonna get a newer car. So I didn't want to spend money on new tires and then me getting this car, right? It wasn't smart enough. So I held out on a little bit, you know, and I never changed the tires for about 3 years on my car because I bought it summer 2022 and I traded it in summer 2025. So this past year. And I'm like, all right, well, that was not the worst thing. So I don't know how long tires, you know, will last on these tires. I'm not sure, especially with this car having a little bit more power to it, you know. I don't know that, but I'll find out and I'll get more well versed in this area. So tires were changed, everything is good. Paid for the tires. My first expense that I have on this car, the next expense would have been my oil change. But because when I bought this car, whoever bought it before me, which is one other owner, that person bought a package. Well, I don't know if dealership have this package or whatever, but where he or she would get free oil changes until 36,000 miles. This car, I bought it at like 22,000 miles, maybe 23, something like that. I don't remember correctly. So I'm like, before it hits 36 in the next couple of months, I am going to try and get an oil change so I can be free. So the first oil change for this car is going to be free, which I'm grateful for. I already spent enough on it, you know, especially monthly. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'll take it. You know, you take the dubs whenever you can. And I'm going to get that, and I'm going to let you guys know how that goes. But, you know, dealerships, man, and wherever you go to any dealership, they always want to upsell you anything else, like, oh, this is off, you want to change this, you know, this, it's always like that. It's a game, right? I made a decision, guys, whenever I bought this car. I said, look, I don't want to deal with this extra stuff, looking for extra dealerships to go around or car shops to fix my car for lower prices. I didn't want to do all that because, one, I'm not very well versed in cars, even with mine now, if I'm being honest. And two, BMW know what they're doing. These are their cars, right? And if anything happens while they're fixing my car, they're liable for it, and I know they're good for it. They're good to take care of it. Oh my God, there's a GTR right now in front of me. See, that's one of my dream cars. There's the white GTR right in front of me, which hopefully, God willing, man, that would be the next step. Look at me, bro. I just got so excited. But all right, staying in topic. I just decided to tell myself, look, I'm always gonna go through the BMW dealership, even if it's more expensive. I already know that. You know, you don't have to tell me that it's more expensive. They upcharge you up the ass, and it is what it is. It is what it is. But I was like, I'm willing to take those hits every now and then, as long as my car is always drivable, as long as they take care of it, and if anything goes wrong because of the work they did, that they are liable for it, right? Plus, I've been a customer of theirs for, you know, several years now, so good treatment, right? That's all I want. I don't want to deal with any more crap and anything else. So that is my preference. I'm not saying that's the smartest thing to do, but I figure it's just, you know, this car is expensive enough as it is, and I don't want little things to come in bothering me every now and then and make things more expensive. I don't want to go to cheap places, they mess something up, and now it becomes more expensive. I've seen plenty of stories like that before. I'm like, you know what? If I have to pay, I have to pay. So be it. That's part of the agreement I made with myself when I bought this car. So just something that you need to take into consideration when you buy these cars is the maintenance that always gets you. You know, it's the maintenance, it's the parts, the shops, everything. It's always something, you know. And at the higher you go in car, it's always the case. So that was that, and I'll let you guys and keep you updated with that. So, but now let's get into some YouTube comments. These were interesting. There was a person that told me that I should listen to Dave Ramsey. And the reason he mentioned that is because I'm in debt with this car, right? I financed it, so I didn't pay cash for it. And it's funny because I actually love Dave Ramsey. Honestly, I love Dave Ramsey, but I don't have a behavioral problem. Even Dave Ramsey explains, I don't want to get too deep into it, but he explains that a lot of the times, I think like 80% of the times, money and monetary things are, a behavioral problem. It's the way you spend, right? You don't have no discipline, which is something that I feel like I don't struggle with. When I have to lock in, I'm locked in, and that's it. But a lot of people don't have that discipline, right? Then the rest of 15 to 20% is actually financial math, right? You just got to do the numbers and, spend less than you make. And it's that simple, which is true. But it's funny because I don't have that issue, but I love Dave Ramsey. I always listen to him. People have different ideologies on money and perspective. I'm going to tell you my simple perspective on where I'm at. I told you guys in the last video that this car per month costs me 12 to 13%, maybe 14% or so of what I make monthly. So only that amount, 12 to 14%, goes into my car, right? That's it. You can do those numbers as you please. You can do the math as you please, but that is what goes into my car. So, and it's funny when I say that because people are thinking, oh, why are you financing a car? Why are you getting into debt? It's just my personal preference. I prefer just paying a car off, driving something nice that it is a little hefty for sure, but it's just something that I enjoy now, right? I've worked hard to get to a certain point in life, and now I just want to enjoy it. Could I save up 50 grand, 60, 70 grand? Yeah. Could I save up in a couple of years and then pay a car cash? Sure. But I just feel like whatever I've done so far has worked for me, and it's, you got to do what works for everybody else. Obviously, don't get into debt and your car broke because of it, that's not smart. But I do pretty well enough for myself that that's not the case with this car. And if things change, which by the way, they could change, and I'll keep you guys updated if things do change. But if things don't change, then I'm enjoying what I'm enjoying, trying new things and buying cars that I feel like I enjoy, and it continues to give me a reason to continue working hard. So be financially literate. There you go. Sorry, English is my second language sometimes. It'd be like that. So, and everybody has a preference, and I'm not here to try to teach you about money. That's not what this video is about. But just YouTube comments like that make me laugh sometimes. I'm like, and I sent them a big LOL. So shout out to whoever that was. Listen, nothing but love, bro. It's all good. I promise, nothing but love. There was another person too that told me instead of making a 3-month update, I should make a 6-month update. Well, now I'm making a 6-month update, not because he told me, but I already had that planned. But I guess a 3-month update was not good enough. I just was doing the 3-month update to let you see, somebody who's a fan of this car, who bought a car, maybe a car of your dreams or a car that you've wanted, to see if they had buyer's remorse by any chance, or to see if they regretted it, to see what it was like the first 3 months. Is it worth it? Things of that nature, to get like a closer feel, a better feel, because I'm not trying to upsell anything here or make you pretend as if I have as lavish as life, because I don't. So it's just important for me to see from somebody who's just a fan. I'm literally a fan. I don't do car reviews for a living. YouTube is not my main source of income at all. The money that I make from YouTube is so tiny by the ads and stuff. So just wanted to make sure that people can see the truth of what it's like of owning a car, and maybe letting you in my life so you can compare that to your life and see if it may or may not work for you. I think that's so important, man. I feel like a lot of people miss that part. Miss the part of being grounded and staying in touch with what reality actually is for most people. You know what I mean? And then there's other people in the comment section who I also appreciate, saying that, man, like, you're driving my dream car, or this is my dream car. Oh, I just got one. Or I just ordered one. I can't wait. Things like that make me happy. Again, material things are not the end all be all. You know, I always tell in my channel, and I'm sorry if I get boring by saying this, but put God first in your life, the rest will fall into place. Simple as that. You know, but people do get excited for things like this because they enjoy it. They're fanatics. You know, I'm a fan of a BMW, not just because of the brand, but I've told this in my videos before, that when I was in college and I'm a freshman year, I had an iPhone 4 and I had a back screen of a BMW. Like, I replaced my back screen because they were replaceable back then, and it was a BMW transparent, so you can look into the phone, but in the middle was a BMW logo, and I loved it, man. It was beautiful. Then, of course, I've talked about how Most Wanted back in the day, right? The car game. They had, the main car was an M3, and at that point it was a convertible. Not a convertible. Sorry, it was a 2-door, right? And I fell in love, you know. And then since then, the fan in me started growing. I started growing more from BMW, and then when I started driving BMWs, it's so smooth, man. Driving BMWs. The driver experience with BMWs is amazing. Like, it's so good. When you drive a BMW and then you drive another car, it's hard to leave BMWs because they truly make it for the driver experience. And I felt that when I've driven. And I've driven so many other cars, you know, and not to bash on any other one, because, you know, I've had different cars growing up, you know, when the struggles were there. And man, you just drive a Beamer, man. It's just, even the lower end Beamers, right? The 320s, the 330i's and stuff like that. The lower series, they still feel good for the driver, and they feel just as good. And people always mention that, like, bro, I was driving your car, I thought I was going 45 and I'm going 80. Because it's so smooth and it feels so good, and you feel like you're in control. And I think BMW concentrates on that, which is the reason why a lot of people like myself love Beamers. Obviously, other factors that to mention, and I mentioned before, people really, this car, something about the M340i, people just love. And on top of the color, I get a lot of looks on my car. I get a lot of compliments on my car. I get a lot of compliments on the color. I mean, almost everywhere I go, people show me some love towards the car. And then when they get into the car, they can't believe how nice it is, right? You got the red seats, or well, I think they're red. The red seats, then you have the screen, which is a widescreen, because this was the 2023, I think, when they came out with the widescreen. So you have the whole screen, because this is this screen display, right? Then you have the lights, you know, the ambient lights around, then you can change the color of them. And it's just clean, you know, it's not extra, it's clean, it's nice, it's neat, you can tell it's luxury. And obviously when you drive around, then you feel a little bit of that, the power, the engine, the B58. And it's just like, dude, everything comes along together well in this car. It truly does. You know, you can have fun with it, and it's a daily driver, which is great. You know, my gas expense of this car is not the craziest, which is great as well. And on top of that, people also love the car. And again, I didn't buy this car to show off to anybody else. It was just more a dream of mine. And then I guess things come, you know, with the territory. But I appreciate always people showing some love. And if you get motivated by any of this content for your future self or whatever, man, I hope that one day you achieve your goals. I truly mean it, that you guys achieve your goals. And once you get a car or a house or whatever it may be, your next financial goal, you know, it's always comes a point in time where you have it, and then you sometimes maybe don't appreciate it much, you know. I get into this car every now and then, and I'm just like, oh, it's like I own the car and it's great. At the beginning, it was like a crazy high, but eventually you come down from that high, and now it's just a thing. Like, it just becomes a thing. But you always have a healthy way of reminding yourself whenever you put it on sports mode and you take off, and maybe you hear the sounds and things of that nature. Or sometimes people remind you, like, dude, you have an amazing car, and then you're reminded of those blessings that you have and that you're able to accomplish in life, which is awesome, right? All of that to say, man, I appreciate the comments in the comment section. Thank you guys for always commenting, whether it's positive or negative. Even though there's plenty of douchebags online, which I've gotten used to for, in my health channel. Again, I'm not a car reviewer by any chance. I'm literally just a fan, sharing my experience with you guys and sharing with you guys what it's like, just owning a car through the months. I don't know when I'll change this car. Things do come up in life, but I know at least I got to experience something that I've always wanted, so I don't want to always keep having to wonder what that's like. You know what I remember, and I'm sorry I keep yapping and making this video longer than it should be, but I think it's important. At one point, I was going through car gurus all the time, trying to see like BMW prices and pricing and how much are they going for? What about the color that I want? What about this and that? And now I don't catch myself doing that no more because I already have the car, which is funny. Before it was like infatuated with doing that, and now it's just like, oh, now I have it. It's a blessing, and we keep it pushing. So yeah. So listen, I'm gonna keep showing you things around the car. I'm gonna show you POVs and stuff. So stick around so you can see more of what's inside the car and show you guys what else. I might record that part tomorrow. I had a little bit of a longer drive now that I'm heading home. That's the reason I've been yapping so much. But I think, hopefully you enjoy my content. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, by the way. And if you have any suggestions, let me know. What would you like me to do with my car? What do you want me to change? Not change, because that equals expense. What would maybe some changes you would like to see? Or maybe some good suggestions that you may have for me, right? Because eventually I'm actually planning on tuning this car, doing a stage 1 tune, and BMW does that officially, so it doesn't mess up with your warranty, which I'm like, yes. But I'm wondering if I want to do it to this car, or do I want to wait 2 years from now, 3 years from now, and get with a newer M340i. Don't know yet. I gotta make those decisions, but I make those as time comes and see what happens. So but yeah, I'll leave you guys with that. Enjoy the rest of the video, and take care of yourself, take care of each other. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, chat. See you guys soon. All right, so I figured I'll let you guys into the inside of the car and some of the systems, I guess, even playing with the screen so you guys can see what it looks like a little bit. We're going to hit the climate section. And as you can see, because it's kind of cold outside, I think it's 41 degrees, something like that. My second feature for the climate is the butt warmers, which is, they come so clutch and I love it. Obviously, it has all the climate settings that you want and need in the car. But my favorite one is the actual steering wheels heating. And maybe you can see this on the screen. You may not be able to, but when I touch it, like right in the front, right here, it'll tell you and that the steering wheel has been activated, and also tells you down here, as you can see. But it shows you on the heads-up display. And when it's activated, it warms up pretty well in your hands. And for the winter, I mean, it's so clutch, and I think it's my favorite feature. So my hands are never that cold. So then let's go to media. Media is also the media section. Shout out to Britney Spears. It was playing on my playlist. But the media section is pretty cool too. You can go back and obviously all the your playlist, because I'm listening to Spotify, so it shows you everything else. Then you got the phone section. But if you go back to media and if we go to the browse menu button, this is where all your settings will be at, right? So your mobile devices, your Apple CarPlay if you want to connect it. You also got the FM radio, Sirius XM. I think you get a subscription when you buy the car for Sirius XM. I think it's cool, but I don't use it at all. I'm all about the podcast, Spotify, music, and all that stuff. Navigation, weather, news, all that stuff. Now, interior lighting, which I think it's pretty cool, which obviously are all these little lights. So you see the ambient lighting, you can go in here and you click on the interior lighting, and obviously the ambient lighting comes with it. Right now I have it in turquoise, I believe that's how you pronounce it right now. But you have all these different colors that you can have. The last car I had, which was the 2020 330i, you know, it had a violet color, almost like a lavender color, which is my favorite color. Lavender is my favorite color, I believe. Between that and maybe like light blue, I think I would say. So that's the reason I leave it in like turquoise, or I go to a sewer, which is more blue, like the typical blue. And that's where I leave it at. But the rose is cool. You know, I think the other one that I like is the ivory. The ivory is really neat. But I want the purple back, man. I think the purple one will be so clutch again, and it, you know, it fits well. But the ambient light is cool. You can choose your brightness as well on how bright you want it to be, which I think it's also pretty cool. So all those settings are nice. Then you have your BMW assist, AM radio, all that good stuff. And you can essentially find everything here. You know, you can find everything in these buttons that you need. Whenever you get a warning or your car, something's wrong with your car, you will receive it right in this button over here. First of all, it's when the screen turns on, it'll let you know, right? But for whatever reason, you can go up here and click this button and it'll tell you what's missing, like, or what's wrong, right? So if the tire situation that I will describe in this video, this one, it was showing me your tires, you know, need to be inflated and things of that nature, which I thought was pretty neat, and it always reminded me. It tells you also about your car, where it's at the moment with everything else. So let me try to go to system settings, see if I can, let's see. Right, yeah, so here we go. So the vehicle status, it tells you, right, tires is good, engine oil level is good, track control settings are good, and then the next service required, which will probably be an oil change, is in 1,600 miles, which makes a lot of sense. And I'll probably get that done before it because I have a free, quote unquote, free oil change. But I figure I'll let you guys into the buttons, and then here are the rest of the controller settings and buttons. You can always press home. Whenever you put, this is important, and maybe some of you guys don't know, but whenever you put Apple Maps, right, and you have CarPlay, what you can do, by the way, if you're wondering what this is my electrolytes for the day. I always try to take electrolytes throughout the day. So I got like an orangey, lemonish electrolyte. So just letting you guys know. Anyways, so let's move on. So with the map settings, whenever you have your Apple CarPlay going on, and if you want it to show up on your screen and you have it connected, just go back and click maps one time. Because typically you'll see this map right here show up, but if you want it to show on the screen, you just got to go back and click maps. And when you click maps, it will send you to your Apple CarPlay and not show you the car's map over here, right? You can just click on maps, and it'll tell you everything that you need for your CarPlay. When you want to put it in sports mode, of course, right? And I think the car's in sports mode already, but let's say if you want to click comfort, right? Click comfort, and it'll show you on the screen it's in comfort. And if you want to go Eco Pro, you go Eco Pro Individual, which, by the way, this color is so cool. This is nice. I've used Eco Pro on long distances, maybe like 2-3 hours that I've gone. But other than that, I typically keep it in comfort. And of course, when I'm making videos and having a little bit of fun, I click on sports, and bam, and it gives you, you want regular sport, you want sport plus, or sport individual, and then you can configure your individual settings if you like, right? Which I don't touch any of that, if I'm being honest with you guys. I'm not doing all of that. I'm just leaving it at sports plus, and that's what we're rolling with. And it shows you over here, right? So if you go back to comfort, then it'll tell you over here you're in sports plus. It changes to red, and each color shows you where you're at with it, right? I'll get closer so you guys can see the inside. This is so cool. Like, this telling me when I'm driving, the speed and everything else is just so neat. And I love it. I love the technology behind it. Then of course you have the steering wheel, which is hot now. It's a little warm. I had somebody in my YouTube section comment one time and asking if this was how hot did it get, because for him it didn't seem to get hot enough. But I think for me, it's hot enough. Although it doesn't get extremely hot where it'll burn your hands. I think that might be like a liability problem, like an issue that BMW could have if you touch your steering wheel and it burns your hand. You know, you don't want it to get too hot. So they're going to make it warm, not necessarily hot or super hot, from my understanding. Then you have all the buttons, you know, the car buttons, all of that good stuff. And glove compartment, this is what I use to record on my chest. Whenever you can see the POV when I'm driving. And this is the little thingy right here, what you can see right there. It's when you see the POV of me driving the car. So hopefully that, you know, you guys can see all the little buttons around the car closer. I haven't done this in the other video as close of a review for the car, but I figure it's a 6-month update, so I'll make a longer video and you guys can just enjoy. And I'll get on the passenger seat so you guys can see what it looks like from that side. Let's close this because it's kind of cold. So this is what the car looks like. I am 5 foot 11 inches and 3/4. So I kind of round up and say that I'm 6 foot, to be honest. Especially on clouds, definitely 6 foot. So this is how big it looks like with somebody who is 6 foot, you know, inside. And this is what you can expect for it to look like if you're riding in a BMW M340i, right? Or whenever you're letting somebody else drive your car, which, I mean, it's fine if you trust somebody who is a decent driver. Actually, let's go with a good driver, not a decent driver. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. This is cool. Nothing crazy. You know, you have plenty of space for a 6-footer like myself, quote unquote 6 foot. And you can also, you have your personal settings here if you want for your controllers, your climate control, right? So for this one, if you want to put the butt warmer too, it has it for the passenger side, which is pretty clutch. And then you can have your settings high or low for the passenger side. And then you have this right here too. So yeah, this is what it looks like, guys. You know, giving you a little bit more of an insight on what's going on from my view. And yeah, as you can see, I'm at a park as well, and it's Martin Luther King Day today, so everybody is having a little park time, which I love. Shout out Martin Luther King, MLK. Yes sir. All right, cool. So now we're in the backseat. As you can see, this is what you can expect for the car to look like from back here. You have the ambient lighting as well on the side and down here as well. You see my shoes shining blue a little bit. So you have ambient lighting down there too. And at night, it looks so much better. I think it looks so nice. You also have climate control. And somebody left this at 69, LOL. For the back, you have climate controls if you want to, you know, to change your climate control in the back, which is so dope. The color of the seats and the color itself is much appreciated from back here, if I'm being honest, because you can see like the color waves and stuff, the color scheme, and it looks so nice. And you have little pockets here, but these pockets right here have a NASA shirt just in case and some water, right? I got my also my gloves just in case. I have my sweater that I brought today and everything else over here. So yeah, this is what you can expect for it to look like from the back seat. And I hope you guys are enjoying these views because I'm definitely going out of my way. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for the video, the channel, you know what I mean? Show some love. But this is pretty cool. So this is what you can expect for somebody who is about, you know, 6 foot. Cough, cough. But yeah, this is pretty neat. It's pretty nice back here. Not gonna lie, pretty comfy. And of course the leather seats, they're pretty nice, right? Looks good. Let's get a little active here on the freeway because just a little bit, not crazy, guys. But I typically go on back roads and let you guys see like the takeoff, what it feels like, or at least what it looks like from your end. I never get on freeways typically because, you know, it's easier to do the back roads and it's less traffic. But right now I figure, you know, it's a little fun and a little love for you guys. Although right now there's still kind of traffic. It's like 2 p.m. So I can't really floor it, but I can let you see how smooth it drives when I'm hitting 80 or 90, which I think it's pretty dope when you get on a freeway or highway. And listen, right now I am hitting 80 on the freeway. And let me tell you guys, let me fix the camera real quick. Man, it feels so smooth. I always talk about this with BMWs. It just feels so smooth. I can be hitting 90 and maybe 100. If the road is smooth, man, the car feels amazing, bro. It feels so legit. Let me get a little wait, let me wait a little bit so I can give you guys a little pump. Nobody's behind me. We're good. Let's wait a little bit, slow it down a little bit, and then yeah. And right there I only hit like 90 something, right? But I guess I want you guys to see what the power behind the car. Obviously it's no M3 power, but for me it's good enough. I've explained plenty in this video that I'm not really a crazy driver. I like the fact that I have a little power behind, you know, the wheels. Wow, I just think I hit a little something with my tire. But yeah, it feels, you know, it feels really great. Even when you're hitting 80, it's so smooth still. Super, super smooth. You can hit, you know, keep going at 90, super smooth. This is what I love a lot about this car, if I'm being honest. And yeah, let's keep enjoying, let's keep driving a little bit. Sometimes, and I've always say this, and I think I say this later on in the video as well, that you can be hitting 85, 90s, and people who've never driven BMWs, the difference that they feel is amazing. And they always tell me that, and I can always vouch for that. That when it's just, the car is just so smooth, and it's made for the driver, which of course if you're driving one and you own one, then you love it. So I'm gonna get out right here so I can turn around, and maybe we can do another little takeoff for the car. Just a little something, a little juice to it. I think that's it, boys. Let's get it. Yeah, buddy. Oh, that was awesome. That was awesome. That was a good feeling. Oh man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think it catches me off guard because I rarely floor my vehicles. This one in general, I literally don't do it much. Like if at all, but only when I'm making these videos. So I'm getting the same high you're probably hearing. And my reaction is purely honest, bro. Oh man. Oh, this is good. But in the video, guys, I discuss a lot of different things that I've heard from the YouTube section. I'll tell you what's been going on with my car. Also give you a little insight on what's been going on even with maybe my plans for the future with the car. We'll see. I don't know yet, but I'll get into a little bit of everything within the next several minutes. I made this video just a long update because, one, I don't know how to do updates. It's not my thing. This is not what I do in my channel. But I wanted to come off as raw and as honest as possible from a fan. You know, this is from like a fan perspective of BMWs and, of course, the BMW M340s. Is all pure, you know, fanatic, just like some of you guys, you know. I love the fact that, you know, you guys are showing love to my car, to my videos and stuff. It's pretty cool. It's good to have that feeling, you know, a lot of love for sure. But dude, that takeoff right there that I just did, and it wasn't even necessarily a takeoff, but just that flooring I did, dang, bro, the car is so nice. It feels really, really good. And look, I'm hitting 80 at the moment. The steering wheel's not shaking, you know. The wheels, everything is good. And I hit, if we go hit 85, 90, it will feel the same, you know, which is awesome to feel in the car. And I've driven, you know, I've worked my way up from cars to cars in the past. Let me tell you, you know, my first car, if I'm not mistaken, was a 1998. I think it was a Honda Accord. And that Honda Accord, let me show some love real quick. That we have some space. So right now I'm hitting almost 100. Steering wheel barely moving, just a little bit. Nothing crazy. Feels so good. Easy to drive. So it was a 1998 Honda Accord. It was a green one, and I bought that in 2010. So it was a 12-year-old car, right? Then and then that car obviously died. It was about like $2,000 maybe or something. That, or maybe even less, to be honest. Maybe like 1,500. I don't remember. But that car ended up, dying essentially, right? So in 2012, I believe, 12 or 13, I bought a Honda Civic that was a 2003 car. It was a blue one. The Honda Civic, though, I felt so nice. I felt like I was in the Fast and the Furious. I felt like I was driving a Beamer or Ferrari with that car. It looked so nice. I was so happy and excited for my car. So that car, eventually, I think some part of the engine or something ended up going wrong when I took it to the mechanic. He was driving and testing something out, and it caught on fire, like the whole engine. And we filed, a whatchamacallit, to the insurance. We filed it that this car, had gone south, and they gave me about $5,000 for that car. I think it's like $4,500. So that was my second car, right? It went to crap maybe. So I bought it in 2012, I'd say 13. By 2015, I needed the new car. So 2015 comes around, and I buy a 2008 Toyota Scion, right? And that Scion, I loved it. I felt like even more like I was driving, a Fast and the Furious type car with my Scion, because it was a 2-door, it was a white one, and it was just a beautiful car. I even had the front lights changed to like light blue and stuff like that. I had the Scion angel lights in the car. Let me floor it for you guys right here one more time so you guys can. That's 110, and it's barely shaking, barely moving. Steering wheels. Awesome. So I had a Toyota Scion, and if you guys are noticing, I'm increasing by car 5 years, right? I started at 98, got at 2003, and then got at 2008. So I'm like, is my next car going to be a 2013? I'm wondering, at that point. But the Scion, the 2010 Scion, cost me, I believe, I think about $10,000, and it was a 2008, like I mentioned. I had about 70,000 miles, I think, at that point or something like that. And I was in college at the time. So I think it was my third year in college or so. So I wasn't getting anything crazy, I'm still a broke college student. So that lasted me up until 2019. I ended up getting my degree, and my master's degree. And I ended up selling my Scion because I got my first BMW ever was in 2019. So I ended up getting a 2016 328i, my first one ever, man. That was my baby. That one cost me about $22,000, and it was to a 2016 BMW 328i, right? I love that car. It was, a blessing. It felt so good to, finally have one of the cars that you always wanted, or at least the brand, which is BMW, right? And let me tell you, I sold the Scion, I think, for about probably like $5,000 or so, maybe 4,500, or maybe a little less. I don't remember. So what happened was, I put the car on Craigslist at the time, before Craigslist was, I guess, the sketchiest site ever. Some guy came to my stepdad's shop, and he came with his son. He was in need of a car, and the irony was he was in college and he was looking for his first car. And I had a soft spot for the kid and for the dad. When we were negotiating, I was really hard on like $4,200 or something like that, now that I remember now. And at first it was at 45, then I went down to 42 because we were negotiating. And then when they told me that, it was his first college car and all this stuff, and he was going to the same school that I was going to, which is Georgia Gwinnett College at the time, I went there for 2 years in a transfer. But he was going to that university now, and I was like, that college. And I was like, you know what, man? Just because you're going to college, I'm going to leave it at about $4,000, I think. And let's just call it that. Let's call it that. Take the car, nothing else. This car I'm the second owner of this car. There has been no accidents. I've been keeping up with all the maintenance. It was a really, really good car. And we closed the deal for about $4,000 or so at the time. The car, again, man, it was in super good conditions. I've always taken care of it. All the maintenance hasn't kept up, and I just gave it to the kid, and I just said, congratulations, brother. And one of the best selling points that I can have, oh look, another Beamer to my right. I don't know if you guys can see it, but he's popping, which is funny. Yeah, so the car, right? I sold it to him, and one of the best selling points that I feel like when it comes to selling a car is when you get a new car, a newer car, or you just don't need it anymore. You're not selling it out of like, oh, something's going south. And obviously customers are always ask you that, right? Why are you selling the car? And I was like, well, do you see that BMW over there? Well, that's what I have now. So I don't need this car anymore. So I'm selling it not because something's wrong with the car. I'm selling it because I don't need it anymore. So I sold that car, and then afterwards I was, then I got a 2020. In 2022, I got a 2020 330i, which is my old car. And then 2023, I bought my first BMW M340i, which this is, in 2025. So this is I bought a 2023 BMW M340i, which, by the way, guys, I am such a huge fan of buying 1-year-old to 2-year-old cars, even if they're more on the luxury side. Depreciation already has gone down in the car. Also, if it's certified pre-owned by BMW, they're kind of vouching that this car is still really legit and really nice. Most of the cars, if you buy them 1 year, 2 years old, they still have the warranty, of course. And, not much work has been done to them. Also, they probably have one owners. And by the time you go to buy a 1 year or 2 year old car, dealerships always, typically, from my experience, they have always had new tires in the car. You know what? Let me add one more thing here before I'm done with the driving session here. I might just pull out. Wow, no diddy. Let me get out of here real quick and then turn around to try to go and head back home. But let me tell you guys, because do you remember the 2020 market? Everything started going up, and now everything is high. All the interest rates and all that. So the BMW, let me see. Let me get this correct real quick. So before I make any mistake. Okay, I got it. So my 2016 BMW 328i, that one, I remember I told you guys I bought it for like 20 something, right? 21 or something, 2022. Well, in 2022, when I sold it, I sold it for about $17,000. So I had it since 2019, sold it in 2020. So in 3 years, I sold it for $17,000, and I owed about $8,000 on the car, $8,000 and some change. So I kept literally, half of that, and I used that to pay some loans that I had. And then eventually I ended up getting a newer car, which is the 2020 330i that I had, right? So because the market got so crazy, I was able to sell so high, and I essentially only lost about $4,000 and some change, maybe a little bit more because of interest, when it comes to the car itself and the price, which was so neat. I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. Like, that was pretty cool. That's probably one of the, I know cars are not an investment. Well, depending on how you look at it, but it is an investment in the sense of it takes you to point A to B, and maybe if it takes you to work, it is an investment, but it's not a appreciating asset, that's for sure. So I made a lot of money from that car, which was wild. I was like, oh my God. And to be honest, I even had more room to negotiate, but once they reached the number I was comfortable with, about 17.5 maybe or something, I was like, yeah, let's sell this. I'll buy another car soon and get something newer, which at the time my income had gone up since I bought, the 2016 Beamer. I was doing much better. My credit score was definitely higher. So everything was going up at the time. And that's the reason I bought the 2020 330i. And it was, I feel like it was a good move at the time. And when it came to trading for this car, right, what I did, oh, this car got in my way. Oh, there's a cop. Never mind. We're not going to do anything crazy right now. Let me take my seatbelt off real quick. This is, because I was flooring it, I guess, a little bit. My seatbelt has been really tight to my chest already. Jeez. All right, now it's comfortable. Where was I at? So when I traded this car for this car, so the 2020 330i, I think I was under about $2,000 or so. But I negotiated, of course, and I was like, listen, bro, I've taken care of this car. This is everything as well. This car is legit, homie, And they saw the car and he was like, wow, this is actually a really nice car. Like, it's really clean, everything was good. And when they want to sell things, they'll work with you always. So I think I only ended up paying under maybe about $1,000, and it was a 6-year loan. So I was okay with that, and I already had a down payment for this car. So they took that, that $1,000 from the down payment, and essentially I just paid the rest was a down payment, which it was about 10%. I think I put on this car, anyways. So yeah, other than that, that's the only time I feel like at that moment it was the right time to switch the car, because after 70 or 80,000 miles. And I think the car was up to the 80,000 miles, the 330i. Shoot, I said, you know what? Maybe it's time to get rid of it, because I know more things are coming up and more maintenance things that are going to cost, several $1,000s. If that's the case, why don't you get the car that you always wanted? Maybe it's time. So let's try it out. So the numbers, when I talked to him, to me, if I felt comfortable, I felt like it worked out. So I ended up getting, this car, 2023 BMW M340i, with all the packages, essentially, right? All the package, and it's an xDrive. So obviously xDrives are more expensive, and I don't necessarily need an xDrive because I don't need an all-wheel drive. I was always cool with rear wheel, but you can feel the difference with an actual drive, with all-wheel drive for sure. And in Georgia, it doesn't snow a lot, so you don't need it a lot for the sleet weather. But whenever it does get crazy, I know I'm a little bit more confident in my car, because I'm able to handle and manage it and drive it a little bit better. But yeah, man, and at the time when I traded this car, again, my income had gone up again. My credit score was even better. So this is the first car that I've ever bought using just my credit alone. Before, I had my mom to help me out with, not because I needed help to get the car, but it definitely made the interest rates much lower, if that makes sense. Because I've couldn't gotten a car, way back when by myself. Just the interest rates were gonna keep, they were gonna be crazy. So, I don't have pride in that. I said, yeah, mom, help me out if you want, then let's do that. But this is the first car that I've ever gotten, plenty by myself. I'm like, all right, it's time. I don't need anything else. I'm set up and everything is good. So this car is fully under my name, which I'm very proud of. And I know you guys maybe have a different opinion, or you guys do things a little bit different, but I've always been very disciplined, and I think I have a really good ethic when it comes to making sure that all my bills are always taken care of, which you should anyway. It's a grown-up's life anyways, right? It's part of what you need to do. But you definitely make sure that your numbers are lining up. So hopefully that helps you guys and hear more of my stories on how I got to this car. It wasn't out of the sudden. I know some of you younger folks and younger kids, you want things to come really fast, but sometimes, and for most of us, for most normal people, it comes with time. You know, it comes with hard work, it comes with time, it comes with patience. Make sure you got the little things taken care of in your life before you jump into something steep. And if you can save up to buy this car cash, I would 100% recommend that, even more than financing, because obviously you're paying interest rate. To me, I just look at it, you know, am I willing to pay, you know, $12,000 a year to drive a car like this? And if that's the answer is yes, then I do it, and that's it, right? And it's that simple for me, and it's that simple in my eyes. Even though it's a depreciating asset, but I don't do it. I don't buy a car as an appreciating investment, because I know it's not. I bought a car because I enjoy it. I'm a fan. It's been a long-term goal of mine, and here I am, you know, driving it. There was a guy in the YouTube section that apparently said that I don't own the car because I didn't pay it off. But the definition of ownership is not that, just because you pay it off, you know. But again, everybody has their perspectives and their views. But I'm just letting you in on my story, you know, my car journey, so you guys can see and see how I got to this point in my life, right? I obviously make decisions based on what happens in my life too, what changes, what needs to change. But yeah, so sorry for the long yap session. This video is going to be extra long. But again, remember that you have the option to move forward in the video. When I talk about my car, you have the option to go to each section of the video. So if you want to skip any part of the video, then do it, you know. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the rest of the video. I'm going to get a little bit more mixy with the conversations too. So, but yeah, that was my full blown up story. Hope you guys enjoy it. I would love to hear in the comment section, you know, some of the things that you guys have gone through to get to this point. You know, maybe what's your plan to getting your car or your dream car, or maybe even your dream house, or what, you know, all of that, man. It's good to hear from other people that have plans of success in life. I think that's awesome. I think it's beautiful. But don't forget to put God first in your plans. Always, first and always. I'm always going to preach that. Put him first in your life, and then the rest will fall into place, you know. It's like a domino effect, like a snowball effect. So put your faith first, trust him, trust the process. Again, like I mentioned earlier, for a lot of us normal folk, sometimes it takes time to get to a certain point. And by the way, I'm 32 years old, about to turn 33, God willing, in March. So just to let you guys know, you know, it took me some time to get to this point. But we all have a different process, and if you can do it sooner, shoot, congratulations and God bless you, man. That's awesome, and I'm proud of you for trying to reach your goals and your dreams. They say that if your dreams don't scare you at night, then maybe your dreams are not big enough. So I don't know, I heard that one time and it stuck with me. I figured I would just mention that to you guys, whoever needs to hear it. So shoot for the stars. They said that if you shoot for the moon, if you miss, you can hit the stars. That's pretty cool. You'll hit the stars, so you'll hit something eventually, you know, but just keep going.